curious. There. She followed him and soon found herself falling a very deep hole into a strange place called Curious.
Conversation.
Curious.
Conversation.
Nowadays, there are still
Cool.
girls and boys.
So, welcome to, what episode is this? I think this is episode 9 of Curious Conversations. I'm really excited to get to 10. So today we have on Jamarz and Nardean, and we have a possible other guest that's meant to be signing in, but they're off in another land at the moment. We'll have our first surprise guest in a
Mysterious,
the mystique of it all. And I've reached out to Jamarz and Nardean and mysterious person to talk about using music as a vehicle to get a message across. Both of you, I believe, hold strong messages in your music, and yes, you can like rappity rap when you want to, but majority of the time your music has a message which comes first, and then bars second, lyrical skills second. In my opinion, maybe you craft different, but I want to talk about that and just art altogether and how we're getting these messages across. So welcome both. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Hello, thank you.
So I feel like the best way to start this off, given both of you holding not only a strong message, but you represent certain communities, I'd love to start off with a bar of Nardeans of, I feel like an ox cord, the way I'm fit, all these stereotypes. So Nardean, what inspired that line?
Oh God, now I have to give away
Uh-huh.
that I'm not a lyrical genius.
You're not, but you are as well. You don't have to give up the source, but more so
No,
what
no,
inspired the line.
Yeah. I thought just have to say that. I thought you were about to be like, so I'll take a bar from Nardean. Like, I thought you just expected me to just start rapping at you.
Oh, yeah. So just start off with one bar and then Jamarz, we're going to do a cipher here. So yeah. Bar for bar.
So that line, I remember actually maybe years ago now, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, I saw it on a meme. Like I saw a meme that was something about an aux cord fitting into stereotypes, and I was like, that's fucking funny and clever. And I parked it, I'm sure you do that all the time as well. Like you just see shit or you hear shit and you park it for later. But I guess the essence of that line is that at the moment there's because everything in life has a positive and a negative side, right? So at the moment there's like this real uprising of people of color, of diversity coming up, but on the other side there's also this like it's now a trend, and we're also like tokenized, and we're also and even like I say tokenized not in the way like tokenized by let's say like other like white people, by the mainstream culture, but even like in our own communities as well. Like sometimes I feel like I use it to my own advantage, like to try and get further as well. Like that's probably a pretty big thing to admit, like 3 minutes in, but here we are.
Straight to the source. This is the way I like to begin.
Straight in, so yeah, that's what it's like. I feel like an aux cord and like so many stereotypes as well of like, to my parents even, I'm like they call me, my mom calls me like Australia Westfa. So like, you're of all my family, I'm like the dirty Australian.
Damn.
Yeah. So like I have that stereotype, and then there's the West Sydney stereotype as well of like people expect me to be, whatever the fuck they expect. Like I don't even want to say them because it's so insulting. But yeah, like just that sort of stereotype, and yeah, just a plethora of stereotypes.
Ooh, good word. And yeah, that's a big part of, why I wanted to get you two on, is to talk about tokenism, talking about like, that this uprise of diversity and sort of like you know, myself, I lived a lot of my life as a straight white male. So I'm like, I've got the biggest privilege card of all of them. But somewhat in the music industry now, it's like the privilege is like to be like brown, to be queer, to be non-binary. Like these areas are starting to get like a lot of attention. And I've like literally spoke to people in the music industry that are like big, and they're straight white males, and they're like, yeah man, it's like it's hard being a straight white male nowadays. And I'm like
Period.
but, you know, and just seeing like it's great that all these opportunities are happening, but I'm curious to see, you know, how that's working. And for instance, like you've said, Nardean, you are using, it's like your tokenism has become a privilege that you're using to your advantage now, right?
I mean, yes, like I do say that, right? But there's also, I think it's really important to remember as well that like, oh fuck, this is like a bit of a cunty thing to say, but like there are like, yeah, but there are like, I think it's also important to remember that like there are like white chicks getting played on Triple J whose music is horrible.
Period.
But they just get played because they're white, you know?
Yeah,
so it's like
100%.
Yeah, sure there is like sure there is like an advantage, but it's like it comes with like this shitty kind of caveat of like you either don't get played or you get played just because they're trying to like fill
they're filling a quota,
or like not trying to look like they only play white chicks or white guys, you know?
And I agree with the latter. I don't get played, and my trumpeter, who is a straight white male, for all the times we've been touring over a year, he's like, how the F has Triple J not picked you up when you tick so many boxes, regional, queer, like black, brown. I don't know, but I don't think it's an advantage. And I still think like the Lime Cordial, I don't know their music, but I see them everywhere, and it's just two straight white males to me, and I'm sure they're lovely and they look lovely, but I just see them plastered everywhere. So for me, I feel like y'all straight white males are still on top. Well, not you as in y'all, but like y'all, because you're not straight white male, but like the straight white males are still on top, and they're still like have to do the bare minimum, you know?
100%.
100%. And it's exactly what Nardean said, like it's just you either get played or you don't, and you're ticking off a box, and then the rest of us, if it's black people, the rest of us, M words, you know, it doesn't matter. We've already got 2. That's enough for the playlist. Like, and it's true. I applied for Big Brother. I didn't get it, but I saw they got someone else. And then I told my friends in the media, and they said, that's because they already got their person to tick the quota.
They've ticked the quota.
So that's how it works.
I'm fascinated with that, you know, like, you know, I probably shouldn't speak on this, but like, I won't say names then. Because I've seen it, you know, certain artists, you know, Triple J being one, you know, I've seen like a certain artist pop up who is brown and then like killing it. And he has his saga, and then they sort of stop playing him. And then they have another one, this time a female, start playing her, really getting all of it all, and then sort of she's not the hot person anymore. And then there's like another guy right now who's really the guy on Triple J, and it's like, yeah, you know, I don't know. It's, I guess, perception, but it just feels like, yeah, there is this tokenism as like, okay, this is the one we're going to support to the maximum to show that we tick the box. Yeah, we care.
Okay, but I have a question.
That makes sense. Sorry, I'll let you.
No, that's okay. So I have a question, right, for like both of you, and I guess more for Jamarz. Like, would you rather? Because at the end of the day, like, I want my music to get played. You know, whatever the fucking like. I mean, I don't want anyone to like commit murder to play my songs, but like, if you're playing it just because because you're trying to like fit. I mean, ideally, it's like I want you to play it just because it's dope. But would you rather that it just not would you rather be tokenized and get played or not get played at all?
tokenize and get played because I'm someone that doesn't get played.
Yeah,
And it sucks because we're putting in money, like thousands of dollars, and sacrificing like not is normal. Like, I don't think it's normal, but that like white picket fence career that like our families pushed us towards, we sacrifice all that and possible ostracism from the family for not doing a normal career, and then don't get played, and then we look like clowns. So I'd rather get tokenized, but at the same time I wouldn't want to be like what you said, Paisley, the ones that we support them, that's it, next one, like it's the combination of both, but I'd rather get the spin. I think also just me being queer and doing hip hop, I'm like, give me the spin, because it's like not something that is being pushed mainstream around the world. So give me the spin so we can turn heads in the hip hop realm, but not in a not in a entitled way, but like in a kind of social change way. Give me the spin. This crowd will beat me up if I dress a certain way, if I talk a certain way. So push it in their face. They need to see it.
Give them no choice.
Yeah.
That's I guess I want to hear about, for instance, like, I'd take the tokenism for the slot, but I'm curious to like how often you get opportunities, right? This gig lands, this press lands, this radio gig, whatever it is, this feature. How often, like, what is the time you're spending, if any, on going like, is this because of my tokenism? Is it because of that, like, or that they're tokenizing me? You know, are you spending time on that? Are you losing sleep on it? Is your mental health affected by questioning the motives of someone else? No?
No, not at all. For the people listening, not watching, we both just shook our heads.
No.
No. Yeah. No.
I don't think about it. I just
like,
think,
Yeah, sorry, Jamarz.
No, all good. I lost my train of thought, but no, I don't know. I don't think about it like you. It's just like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Just don't want to be that person you said. If it's like a phase, then the next one, I'd rather. Put the spotlight
on and then take it off and leave you in the dark. No, we don't want that. So I would love to talk about like the communities of what you represent. So, for instance, I see with you, Jamarz, being a queer rapper, you've been landing gigs with like Heaps Gay. They've really been supporting you. I've seen you on ABC Queer. I've seen you on a few different platforms. Like right now, you're doing that thing with what's her name, Montaigne.
Yeah. It was an APRA Mardi Gras initiative, their first joint one ever, to showcase like queer artists, which is so cool. Like I've been doing it 5 years. I've never seen anything like that. The MC Brendan McLean said on stage 10 years he's never seen anything like this. So it's nice for them to gather the industry and say, like, queer artists, sign them, manage them, like, you know what I mean, for their talent, and listen. It's cool. It's like, and I feel like I got actual opportunities from that for the first time in my career, and it's nice. It's a really nice feeling. The alternate is, like, I saw is it Bridget from Triple J comment on a post saying, what would you change about the industry? She said, I don't want queer artists to be boxed into that, this is only for the queer community. Ever since I saw that comment, I'm like, hey, this is what they're thinking. Whereas, like, the whole time I'm wearing it with pride. I'm like, I'm doing this in a genre that's unwelcoming. And then I don't know if she's from the community, but either way, she's in the industry and she's telling people, like, you need to not box in queer artists for, like, only LGBTQIA+. They're not that. And I'm like, fuck, like, shit. So it's nice to be given that opportunity to go beyond our own community. APRA and Mardi Gras, and that's basically B2B, like the business to business, telling them, like, look, support them, they're beyond.
Cool. And so I guess how often does that come up for you? Like, the playing these gigs, are you just like grateful for the opportunity in the community? Or are you getting frustrated at times that you're not also playing in other places where it's like a predominantly straight lineup or whatever it is?
COVID's messed that up, but towards the end of last year, we had a little bit of like we'll do like a heapscape type queer gig, and then we went to Coffs Harbour, it was around the bushfire, so it was a koala fundraiser, and that was like regional, and it was predominantly straight. And yeah, I had a mixture, and like when I do those like straight-ish, I say straight, but it can be anyone in there, but like predominantly straight gigs. I don't know, we felt good like to do that. Like I'm going in there saying, look, like you also need to look after each other because you never know who in your crew could be queer, accept each other. But I think, yeah, for me moving forward, and my partner's trying to push me too, is to like go outside of the community that will already embrace me. Because and I've been getting advice from other industry people just reminding me not to box myself in there. And it's not, I guess that's not my fault. I guess it's just how the world can just, if I'm proud, they're just going to box me in. Whereas for me, I'm proud and I feel like I'm for everyone regardless. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting and weird times, but like, it's not even easy doing queer gigs, I'll say, like, because they're not like the community is not really used to hip hop, especially when I started out. So that was a struggle, especially the gays, like the Oxford Street gays. Because they're annoying as fuck. I'm sorry. I'm down there. But that's like, it's so hard to get their attention. They want pop and they want the stereotypes and all this, but yeah, it's hard. It's not easy. Like, I think maybe people think, oh, you can just tour in your own community and you get support. No, I'm like fighting for it too, because it's not genre that they all listen to.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Do you feel like, generalizing, definitely, but like in my experience of the queer community and the dates I've been on, the people that I've hung with, like pop music is this number one. I just love pop music. Do you ever feel like, because you're doing more gigs, that you in the queer community that you need to bring a more pop sound to your music?
Oh, definitely. But I think I've also got that organically, or I've acquired it somehow through the Afro beats. I do a lot of Afro beat stuff. And I think because I was born and raised in regional Oz and I'm not wasn't in the motherland, when I do Afro beats, it comes out pop-ish because that's my perspective. So we lean more towards that and we know that gets the crowd pumping. But the trick for me, for the crowd, is the live horn. So like my saxophone and the trumpet, that will get anyone.
Gets the people going. I've seen it many times.
Well, thank you. But I feel like, to generalize, those Oxford Street type gays, so not the queer community. We love the queer community because they're political. They'll understand. They'll support my endeavors outside of queer issues. But the gays annoy me because they like white women, singers, blonde hair, change my mind. It's like they'll be like, oh my God. And then I notice even Australian upcoming pop artists will like do a few queer gigs here and there because probably their management and their labels telling them they can get easy fans. And I'm like, geez, you're taking my community for a ride. You just want the best fans. Like, I'm trying to make a change. You're just like, yeah, the gays, that's a target market, check. Like, fuck, Australia at this level. So that's one thing that probably irritates me is, maybe the power that the gays give to like it's always, I don't know why, it's just the blonde and white hair. That's a meme as well.
Yeah, 100%. I'm
white, pardon me.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I was watching a interview with Troye Sivan, and he's a queer male Australian artist. He's a massive pop sensation now, but I was listening to him and he was talking about it. He's like, fuck, they're like, why do you do it? And he's like, I grew up and my idols were all white, straight women, It's like, I didn't really have anyone to go, oh, he's a queer artist, that's like singing and making art about queer narratives. But I just have to idolize, Lady Gaga or whoever it is. And Lady Gaga is great, but it's just that it's like the people that are representing the community don't even have as many lived experiences of what the community is about, right?
So much power, like in everyday life, and like put them on a big pedestal, bigger than, like Troye Sivan said, like the queer artist with the lived experience that's actually trying to make a change and like telling our stories. But that's my only issue. Otherwise, there's nothing wrong because I think if I had Spotify, my raps would have been Dua Lipa, Lady Gaga. Like this year, I was gay. But we need to, like the queer community, we need to support our own because we got each other. There's no like target demographic. Like it's all love when it comes. Anyways, that's my. I could talk forever.
Oh yeah, for sure, and we will to an extent. Nardean, I see like a lot of where your community, or my opinion, where your community lies, and like who supports you is people like Parramatta Lanes and how many elements is it? 5 elements? 4 elements?
4 elements.
4 elements. So, you know, like 4 elements. These different Western Sydney community-based platforms, you not only do they give you opportunities, but you also embed yourself in it, and you know you help and you put your hand up to make sure that Western Sydney artists are getting the platform and that there's new ways to promote yourself. You know, you're bringing something to the table rather than just a performance. I'm curious to hear what your experience has been really embedding yourself in the Western Sydney culture.
Well, I wouldn't say that I've like done it consciously. Like I don't think I've consciously tried to bed myself in Western culture. Like I just you know, like I the poem I performed the other night at my show that you heard, like that line, how I'm like, you know, it's kind of like asking a baby, like, what inspired you to leave your mother's womb? It's like, I don't know, you just do it. Like, it's just the natural thing. And just like, I'm around this area and I can see where we're lacking resources and role models. And I can see that, you know, I didn't have a role model growing up. And now all these places are like, you know, calling me up, wanting me to do shit. And like so many artists I feel in West, like claim, like they want to rep West Sydney because it's cool. Like they want to wear the badge, but they don't want to show up and actually help the community because they're like too fucking cool to do it. They just want to be like the, you know, the West Sydney gangsters or whatever. And they don't actually give a fuck. And it's like, you know, like I see it, I'm like, well, that's fake. You know, you don't actually care. But to me, it's like, I can like try and keep my brand cool or whatever. But actually, I think the cooler thing to do is to make like kindness and wisdom cool. And so that's why I have like no problem associating myself with these like festivals and these community-based organizations that are like out here like doing it for the kids. That sounds so cheesy, but literally like they're here doing it for like, you know, Parramatta Lanes this year. Like we had a I was about to not swear because for some reason I thought of Parramatta Lanes and I was like, shit, I shouldn't swear, but you know, fuck it. We had a fucking party on the rooftop. Like the council had a party on the rooftop in a car park in Parramatta. Like,
yeah, it was lit.
It was lit, you know, like that was so lit. Yeah, so I'm just like, it's just kind of what I'm doing. It's just what I'm doing, you know, like there's no kind of, yeah, I don't feel like I'm consciously doing it or whatever. It's just like where my energy pulls me.
I'm curious about this, you know, like to me, who I would probably tip my hat to the most in that repping Western Sydney and actually being very embedded in the community and creating lots of opportunities and really being about that life is Elfresh, right? Elfresh really cares it for everyone, you know. I see him keep his eyes on everyone, really embrace everyone, give time and kindness, you know. The kindness is cool. And you know, like I don't have the full trajectory of his career, but he gets a lot of fucking cool opportunities, right? But at the same time, he doesn't. It's weird, you know, like, I don't know, I don't want to speak too hard on his career, but it's like, this guy is out here playing stadium shows. He's like, did halftime things for like fucking basketball
Sydney
grand
Kings,
finals. Yeah, Sydney Kings. Like, he's performed at all these epic places, but like, he's not on high rotation on Triple J, you know, like, and mainstream radio is not picking him up, but he's like community wise, he's like really fucking smashing it, but I just don't see him getting this major platforms.
Yeah. Well, he did one song off his most recent EP album got mainstream radio.
Oh,
I
cool.
remember that. Yeah. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. It's like a little bit of like he's not like a pop star, you know, or like a hip hop star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, you know, if I look at people like, you know, Chillin' It or you know, Hilltop Hoods or Bliss and Esso or whoever, you know, like
white.
Yeah, all the white people that get lots of plays in these areas, and they get like all the like Splendor in the Grass, Falls Festival,
But still,
whatever
like
it is.
someone like Manu Crooks could be in that category as well, like the Chillin' It category. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like how it's cool to be kind and cool to be a part of these communities. But for some reason, I don't see like these bigger platforms embracing the people that are getting into community. I don't know if it's just my perspective, but it's like if anyone, Elfresh is the person you should have at this, because he has his finger on the pulse of the community, not just like, you know, a straight white male that's just, you know, and I love Chillin' It's music. I love everyone's music, but it's just looking at opportunity wise.
It's probably because it's all white people. Just they can grab, like, the fans are predominantly white in Australia, Aussie. Like I say, I'm from regional, and they just gravitate to the three that you mentioned more than any of us, because it's like maybe subconsciously in their eyes we're not Aussie, oi. They don't see themselves in us, and same goes for whoever the gatekeepers are. But I don't know. Like, that's my theory in terms of. Does that make sense?
I think
it does.
Yeah,
it does. Sorry, go ahead, Nadia.
Well, I think absolutely, like, that makes sense in that there's like resonance, you know, there's certain levels of resonance that we have to account for, that, you know, you're going to resonate more with someone who looks like you. Which is why you see Elle get a lot of support from the Sikh community and from the Punjabi community. There was something else I was going to say about white. Yeah, I think the other thing as well as the race factor is that there is this, like, clout is it's like we're all like, it's like all the fans are women with, like, I don't want to use this example, but it's like all the fans like being in, we're like suckers for this abusive relationship where the music artists are like the abuser, right? Because it's like we idolize people who are who have clout, who are like cool, who don't give a fuck, who like have, you know, who have more followers than people they follow, who like wear all these like big brand names, who like, it's like, to me it seems like we love like bad boys, you know. Whereas like someone like Elle, who doesn't give a shit about any of that, doesn't get like the industry acclaim or whatever, because he's not like out here trying to look rich, you know?
Oh, I got caught in that fucking vortex and I fucked it right off. Excuse my language, because it's like, started working in fashion retail in the CBD, served 10 plus people a day, dressed exactly like me, same mentality, won't spend a dime, won't even look at the clothes we have in the store because it's not a big brand. So over that shit. Sorry for my poor language. I just think it comes from, and I was about to bounce off you anyways and say this, all of that comes from a place of maturity. So like uplifting and putting those people on a pedestal, it's all immature kids. Like, that's why, and I've let go of trying to chase those people as a fan. Some of them will come, some of them won't, but I have acceptance internally that it's like a cycle. It's the same cycle we said for the tokenism. It's like that for the fans. They'll wait for the next thing and the next thing. And that phase will go. It'll go from hip hop to trap to drill. I'm not even into the drill. I like the American ones. Some of them are cool, but I just know that phase is going to be over in another 2-3 years, because we just had trap. Now it's already on to the next thing. What stays forever? Probably like real talent, or just real people who care about society, about the community. Those are the people that, even though won't maybe get the same acclaim, think they'll last longer, and that's what you'd like rather have altogether. Is just how do you pronounce that? I can't pronounce it. Longevity.
Longevity.
That's
yep,
right.
you got it.
Not me.
Winner. Ding ding.
Yeah.
So something I heard there was the word like immature audience. So would you say you both make mature music?
Hell fucking yeah.
Mm.
I
I
would say that.
I think so. Like I think my audience is mature, but maybe I think in my music I got a lot of tongue in cheek. That's kind of my thing. But
Mhm.
yeah, I agree. I agree. I think it's mature audiences.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. So,
I think that an image is coming to my head of like you know, pop stars or kind of these artists that we're talking about who get all the reach and that sort of thing. It's like I feel like you get a lot of ground cover, but it's not as deep, you know, like you get a lot of ground cover, whereas like someone like, you know, maybe artists like us or people who care more about community or like people who hang out and talk to fans after shows, like that sort of thing. It's like you go deeper.
Mm,
You might cover less ground, but it goes deeper.
deeper.
Mm.
And if you're at peace with that, I just have come to peace with that. It's a good
Totally.
feeling. Because why?
Yeah.
Think well, I'm only 22, but I just had my phase, and I feel like I'm so over that audience and doing all the memes online. I do some here and there because it's within my personality, but I think it's the clout, it's the memes. I'm so over it, and I feel like a lot of these kids will get over it, but it's just like I don't know. I agree with everything. I'd rather go deeper, cover less. It's better for our energy. We've got to protect our energy, and I feel like maybe we're all on the same wavelength. Why kind of reduce ourselves to go like that?
Yeah.
Dumb ourselves down. That's what. Yeah, I don't know. I agree with you. I agree.
Who are some people that, this is for both of you, who are some people that maybe make mature music and are using music as a vehicle to get a message across that you're inspired by?
Right. Sampa the Great. And
Yes.
I'm so sorry I was into trap music, and now I'm realizing how iconic you are. So if you even catch a whiff of this, I'm so sorry. You are the greatest. We must protect you. I'm so sorry I was into shit music, and all the love. You deserve everything.
Yeah, Sampa's amazing.
Sampa's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I'd like both Australian and worldwide.
Music with a message, or
Yeah, like mature music, like, you know, something that's in the vein of what you're doing, and you aspire, you know, that you might look at how they work the industry and what they're doing and how their career has progressed, and that you might draw some inspiration from.
well, Hiatus Coyote for me, like just coming off Wondercore Island as well, like Hiatus to me, even though it's not music like with a message, like it's not preachy in any way or anything, it's literally just like them making music that they love and not giving a fuck about what anyone else thinks, like, and just seeing that like I don't sense that any of them really are like focusing on the industry, you know, or any of them give a shit about the industry, you know. Like I think that like they're just making really, really like intelligent, beautiful music, you know, and it's like it hits you really hard.
Yeah, they're not for the average listener, but they're still massive, you know. They're Grammy nominated artists from Australia.
Exactly.
That's wild.
Can I propose a slightly a fusion of what we're talking about? Someone that really caught my eye last year for the message, and I still look up to, is Lizzo, but it's pop.
Totally.
But I think personally, I really look up to her because I want my messages to be like that, but I want it to be as well received, because she talks in and out of the music. Like she'll voice her message out of the music, in the music.
Yeah.
Could we say it's mature music? Like I know it's pop. Well, just because it's pop doesn't mean it can't be mature. Well, we can
agree.
Yeah, is it? Yeah.
I think it is. Yeah, and I think there's actually like I was watching David Letterman interview Lizzo. It's on Netflix, and I was watching that, and she said like she was listening to her old stuff and listening to herself like rapidy kind of rap her head off, and she was like, "Girl, like why are you trying so hard? You know, like if you want to reach the masses, you have to simplify." And I think it's actually a really really, really, really undervalued skill
Mm,
to be able to have mass appeal,
mm.
but still have meaningful music.
Mhm.
I think that that's something that requires actually really true mastery. And so I fully agree with you about
Mm.
Lizzo.
We
Mm.
love that, and I agree with that. And when she said the rapidy rap thing, made me think about rappers in general and Australian ones. And maybe now I have an opinion. Maybe y'all can fight me on it, but maybe if like people trying to do the rapidy rap thing, it's like you're not smart though, because I think people come from like this. Yeah, I'm Christ conscious, Joey Badass. Like he's smart, but like they think they're gonna rap like fast like that, and that they're like this being, and it's like, no, simplify the message. Just because you go and like you rhyme in refrigerator with, okay, I don't know what refrigerator rhymes with, but you know what I mean, like there's that meme,
Later.
literally, like they're like, boom, that's it, I'm the shit, like I'm so smart. And it's like, no, it's what Lizzo said, like simplify, get the message across. Just because you rhyme in orange with door hinge and this and this, that's not, it's not clever. Like it's cool, and I used to think it's cool, but yeah, I don't know.
I agree. I think it depends on what you want. You
Yeah,
know,
it's what you want.
If you want to be a really fast, like rapidy lyrical rapper, go ham, cuz like you do you. But if you want to reach the masses and you're doing that, then that's not smart. Then then that's like you've done no market research, you know.
But I beg to differ once again, you know, because it's subjective to what you want, right? Like Chillin' It is a rapidy rapper, and he's done some of the biggest shit in Australia, you know, over the last couple of years. You know, there's, you know, one of the, if not the biggest artist over the last like two decades is Eminem, and he's a rapidy rapper, right? And like if you look at someone like Tech9, he has the biggest independent record label of all rapidy rappers, and he is like always in the top 10 of the Forbes list, you know, among Jay-Z, among Kanye West and Eminem. Like he makes money off, and he's one of the best lyricists, you know. It's, to me, I love Tech9. We've toured with him, rah, rah. It's not something I can listen to all the time. I feel like that's the difference, is like Lizzo, it's easy listening, you know, it's because it's simplified. I can listen to it all the time. And obviously his fans do listen to it all the time, but it's a very acquired taste, but he's done his market research to go, this is who I want to appeal to, you know, and this is what I'm going to do, and which is really fucking clever in my opinion.
That's true.
I think that people like Chillin' It and Tech9 are exceptions to the rules, though, not the rule. You know,
Oh,
like,
100%, 100%. They break the fabric, and this is what I love, you know, is that this happens, you know, it's just not as embraced. There's a formula that I believe the industry navigates towards the most, you know, but then there's people that just give them absolutely no fucking choice, like 1-4, you know. It's like you cannot ignore 1-4, you know. They're not making pop music, but you have to fucking play them, you know. You have to play them because they're a worldwide phenomenon. So it's like, oh, we might as well embrace you because people probably fucking in the comments of all these different platforms like, we want 1-4, we want 1-4. It's like, oh, we might as well, you know. But they weren't there for the early part of their career. They didn't help build these artists. This is the difference. I feel like the industry helps build artists that fit the formula, but then artists that are outside of the formula and give people no fucking choice, then they embrace them.
I'm going to steal that point mentally. Good motivation either way.
Yeah.
Ponder and stew on. Oh, this industry though, it's fucking not easy, hey? Like I think people think, oh, it's so easy being creative, being an artist. And then industry in Australia, it's not easy. And America, y'all want to talk about manufacturing? Sorry, I was going to
go.
Y'all want to talk about manufactured artists?
Oh yeah, like
I don't want
industry plants. Is that what you mean?
Maybe. Comment.
The hanky is so good.
Oh, that's cute.
My father. Not this one, but the idea, the notion. Thank you, father. Anyway, shut up.
Well, I feel like maybe I'm curious to hear that, because, you know, someone like Lizzo, people were speculating that she was an industry plant, right? It's just like, oh, we're going to do this, you know, and I'm curious about that debate, you know, and it's like, is that again a new version of tokenizing someone? Yeah, go Nardean.
I just have a question before you answer that question. Do you guys like that I just put my hand up?
Yeah, I love it.
Excuse
That
me.
was so good. Yeah. Excuse me, sir. I have a question. Such a teacher's pet. What do you mean by industry plant? Can someone like clarify that for me?
So it's like someone that they pluck, you know, and they build the brand, they create the positions, they create the sound, they have the songwriters come in and be like, this is what the hook is going to be, this is what the subject matter is going to be, we're going to put you here, then here and here, and it's like planting someone rather than it being off the back of someone's like own marketing, own message, own brand. It's like a label just grabs you and goes, okay, this is what the industry needs right now, and we're gonna take a 360 deal and do everything.
Okay.
And you'll never last like that. And I've done my sounds like I'm so much. I've done a year in the 9 to 5, like in music PR and normal, like outside of that PR. It's like, even just the way you described it, fuck, if someone said that to me, I know what's about to go down. It's not going to last long, essentially, because these people are just trying to do their job, trying to make what X, Y, and Z profits for the year, turn it over. Oh, you're giving me chills the way you described it. I can't imagine how you could accept something like that. But then I can, because they trick you and it's all like subliminal and they appeal to you. But
yeah, it's modern day slavery, right?
Yeah. It's just,
and you're just an artist who just want, like, I'm assuming the person that they're planting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be honest, like what you described to me sounded a bit like a record deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But with just like with a major label record deal. But my assumption is that if you're already an artist, if they're picking you, like you obviously already know how to sing or whatever it is. So you must kind of how we're saying, like, I don't care if you tokenize me, play my shit. It's like that same sort of like, I don't care if you write my songs. I just want to fucking sing in stadiums. That would be great, you know?
That's true. But the plant stuff, like if they're industry plant, it never really lasts long.
Totally.
Because it's like, it was an organic fan base and that artist probably wasn't in control. And I don't know. It's sad reacts.
Well, that's a big thing that happens, you know. Two artists that I love that I've heard talk about that, to an extent, it's not as big industry plant, but it's like, J. Cole has experienced that, and Yellow Wolf, where it's like, oh, here's the song, like here's a song for you, and we want you to like, we've given you the demos, we did this, and this is what will get you on Jimmy Fallon, this is what will get you on Ellen, this is what will get you here. If you make the song that we give you here it is on a silver platter, then this is where you'll get XYZ, right? And
works though. That's really, really how it works. Major, if we're talking like major.
Yeah.
But then people like the both of them, after their first album, seeing how much integrity they lost and just where their artistry felt, you know, it's like, ugh, you know, they've gone, okay, no, I need to make my own fucking music, you know, and I'm willing to do that if I'm a flop or not, you know, if I don't get those same opportunities. But that's definitely a thing.
Well, quick notion then, bouncing off integrity for Nardean and myself. Would we, because sometimes like, could you see yourself sacrificing some sort of creative integrity for the message? Because I feel like me and you were driven by a message, by a bigger purpose. If an opportunity, like not the plant thing, but certain opportunities were to come up where you had to sacrifice integrity, but at least the message is going to come across. Like, I feel like I would do that a little bit, even if it's once or twice, because then it's out there.
So you
I don't
mean
know
like
what I mean,
so you mean like say write a pop song instead of a hip hop song, but the message is still there? Is that what you mean? Or
I think so, yeah. I think in my head, yeah. My train of thoughts.
Yeah. I think the harder thing would be to sacrifice the integrity of the message. Like I wouldn't, if I had to just write a super poppy hook, but the hook is like, we're all awesome. Yeah.
But the kids love
colored
that.
people are great. You know, if that was the hook, then like great.
And they can play it in high school.
Yeah. Fuck, I do want to write kids songs actually, but anyway, it's another story. Yeah, I think I would do that.
Would you sign to a label? So for instance, like, you know, an Australian queer icon who is just a white woman is like Kylie Minogue, you know, if like Universal came along and Kylie Minogue gave you this queer banger, would you take it, Jamarz?
fucking weird because for some reason she's been in my head and I'm taking that as a sign from the universe because that's so weird. Why the hell did you say that?
We're manifesting right now.
So
I've been thinking
weird.
it as well. I've been thinking it as well. So it's in the field.
That's so weird. That is so weird. It's a sign from the universe. Yeah, I think I would. Because I know. For me, I feel like I'm about to contradict everything I've said up until this.
And it's okay to be a contradiction. We all contradict ourselves.
I could contradict everything I've said in this conversation because at the end of the day, I'm still going to be, you know what I mean? This is still going to be the same. And I'm driven by a few things, whether that it's for the kids, like queer youth, for just Black, brown people. I want changes in the world. Like, I just want to rectify shit that happened to me in Orange to just rectify that. So I feel like if I get the platform, I'm going to do it. And I've been thinking about people like Beyonce and JB, and they make change. They make change through the music.
Who's JB?
Sorry, Justin Bieber, because I used to be obsessed with him when I was little. And I feel like that's where I kind of got a bit of inspo from in terms of change. And it probably was all a marketing thing at that point because he was a big pop star, but I was still little and impressionable, and he made it okay.
It worked.
Yeah. But I feel like, I could contradict everything I said in the whole, up until this point, to still get the messages across and make change. I'll be okay with that. It's exactly what Nardean said. The harder thing would be to like fuck up the message, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Paisley, you know our inside joke of like whenever we walk into an industry thing, like we walk into with like shoulders back. All right, who do I need to fuck and who do I need to kill?
Yeah.
It's obviously a joke. Relax, everybody. I'm not going to commit murder.
Full stop. Moving on.
Love that.
Would you take a song on a platter? I don't know who would be the equivalent of someone that is right for you. I don't know enough Australian pop music, but would you take a record deal and a song like you have to? These are the 3 singles. We're giving you these, and the record deal. Would you take it to get yourself out there and get your message across?
I don't know about maybe. I think that I would do a record deal, maybe, but if it was only for like 1 album or something,
That's not going to happen.
Or 2 or 3.
3 to 5 minimum.
3 is good in these times because we had to pump out so much content, so you could just trick them and because they're gonna watch and be like. But anyways, you could trick them and be like little mixtape, because you have to get a lot of content out there and then just
finesse them like Frank Ocean.
Yeah, or something because like someone like Russ has now finished his contract and he's going to start releasing shit independently, and that's like going to change the fucking game. And I think anyway, like record labels have got to catch up soon. Like they have to catch up soon. But I don't know. It depends. That question depends on where I'm at in my career. If I already have a pretty solid fan base and I know I've got some banger singles lined up, or I've gotten some really great sessions and I know I have some mad shit lined up, I don't think that I would do it, to be honest. Especially if I was like locked into 3 and like the label was bad. Like if it was like I don't know. Because I think that staying independent is something that's pretty important to me. Yep.
It's true.
I'm curious to hear about like, given the industry, right? It is starting to diversify now, but the previous to recent years, it's been majority white males owning the Australian hip hop scene. But at the same time, both of you have started to an extent being embraced and getting cosigns from these people. So like, for instance, Nardean, you dropped a track with Horrorshow today and you're doing a gig with them tonight.
What the fuck? Congrats. We love that.
And sorry, go.
It's just 8 bars. They got a whole bunch of...
Don't downplay it. You did a track with Horrorshow.
It's still dope. Yeah, but anyway. Yeah.
And recently you done a session with them, Jamarz, and there was, I think, was it ABC that covered it with you?
It was like a present we did it. Yeah, they produced a track and helped me with the songwriting. They gave me tips I still think about to this day, and it was basically the song was a gift to a teacher of mine who helped me reconcile with my identity. And it was really cute. I hadn't seen him since I graduated school, and then he didn't know why the hell he's been pulled from Orange to ABC. Walks into the studio. He thought it was art related because he's an art teacher, and then boom, I like appear from behind the speakers, and then it was nice.
That's so cute.
That's so wholesome.
Shut up. Fuck. I wasn't ready for that, guys.
Yeah, so wholesome.
Shout out to him if he's listening. One person can make a difference on everyone's life. Anyways, that's aside.
Yeah, and that's so beautiful. And other people, for instance, like I've seen for both of you, like just on your Instagram posts at times, like different members of Fundamentals will comment on your stuff or engage with it, giving you that look of like embracing from people that have had a big run, and I think like I've seen Listen SO's DJ comment on your stuff, Nardean, just like different people starting to embrace you. How does that feel, and what does that do for your career, for people co-signing you?
For me, they're all real people, so we love them. Like they're real people. They're not caught in the clout, but it's all because back to the maturity thing. Like real people, they respect the realness. Oh, we forget that word used to be popping back in the day. It wasn't
realness.
But it's so lovely. It's weird as well because I remember being younger, and it's like that surreal moment. You're like, hey, I remember when I was younger, and then you know what I mean. And now I'm getting a nod. Like it's weird in a good way, like smiling as you can see. But we love it, and we appreciate anyone like that, and that can understand kind of our struggle as well as like not white artists in this market. I don't know. We love it. We appreciate it.
Nice.
Anyone that supports. I personally like always say thank you and really, really appreciate it because I do. Because it's also like there's thousands of artists, and you gave me some kind words. So thank you so much, and I'll make you proud.
Absolutely.
Nice.
It's. I mean, like the Bliss and SO DJ, like. It's all love. I'm so grateful, but I didn't even know that was like you pointed out to me, Paisley. You were like, that's Bliss and SO's DJ. I was like, oh, true, cool. Like for me,
I'm usually your person. Like, hey, this person commented on your. So this is this person. This is what they mean to the music industry. Just letting you know.
Yeah. Like even with the horror show stuff. Fuck, I hope they don't listen to this. Like I'm so grateful for it. But like even with the horror show stuff, Paisley was like, okay, listen to this horror show track, listen to this horror show track, like, so you get a vibe of what they're like, and they're fucking great. They're super, like, really introspective stuff. But, like, for me right now, I feel in this place of it's just 1 foot in front of the other, 1 foot in front of the other, 1 foot in front of the other. And it's like, oh, sick, you commented, dope. Oh, this person, this, sick. All right. And then just like keep, just like gradually like building it, And for me, I think the thing that means the most really is when people like send me a message that's like, your song helped me through this thing, or like, it's like, that's the shit that actually... Because in a way as well, that whole, the whole commenting on Instagram and all of that, that's all like part of that clout bullshit that we were talking about as well. And it's like...
Period. Say it again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, and you see the circles of people commenting on each other's shit, and it's all just designed to like make
get the name in
feel like shit.
And just get their name out there. Ain't nothing more annoying when I'm scrolling on Instagram. And you know how it like shows you the comments before when you're scrolling? It's always the same motherfucking names. You don't need to comment on everything. Just double tap and like, keep going. I'm not following you. Like, why keep coming up in that? If it's like in the feed and it...
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So I'm curious to hear, like, for instance, you just said there, like, Nardean, like, feel like shit. I want to know, in this industry, continuously that one step ahead of the other, but also, the game of taking one step, but really wanting to do leaps and bounds and just get to the top, trying to sell out gigs, trying to get on these playlists, trying to get on these radio stations, trying to this, trying to that. What are your ways of keeping your mental health in check? What are you doing to make sure you're keeping healthy during these times, both like physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, energetically? What are the practices that you're doing? And what actually affects you the most? I'd like to know as well.
So right now, you've asked me at a bad time, actually, because I'm like not doing any of the things. And I guess it's almost a good time because I can tell you how much of a fucking difference it makes. So like a couple of months ago, I was doing like, I was going to F45 every day, and I'd wake up at like 6:30. Oh no. Yeah, I'd wake up at 6:30. I'd go to the 7 a.m. F45 class. I'd be at the cafe by 8 o'clock with my journal. I'd write a gratitude list for the day. I'd journal about how epic my life is, and like manifestation journaling as well. So shit like, you know, thank you that I just sold 10,000 tickets to my latest tour, even though I didn't. But like, just like writing that, because your brain doesn't know the difference. And if you can feel the feeling of gratitude for it, then things start to manifest. So I would do that, and then I would like come home, meditate, and then I'd sit at my studio and start work for the day.
Yeah.
Not doing any of that right now. I feel like shit.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about like what it is? What are you feeling shit about as an artist? What are some of the stories in your head?
Yeah, so I feel really insecure about my music ability. Like I feel like I can't sing. I feel like I'm always pitchy. I feel like I don't understand music. Like I don't know how to write songs, even though I do know how to write songs. Like it's so stupid. I also just generally feel like even the like it's a bit of kind of what's the point? There's a little bit of that happening, whereas before when I was doing all the journaling and stuff like and the exercise, like I felt so grateful for everything that was happening, you know. It was crazy the shit that was going on, but now I'm like whatever, you know. And like all this dope shit's happening, like I got the FBI award nomination and like all this crazy cool stuff's happening, and I'm just like meh, you know, which is ridiculous. I understand that it's ridiculous, but it's like if you don't feel good in general, then it's hard to feel
good about something. Yeah.
Or like you get the little like I did feel good when that happened, of course, but it's like doing a line of cocaine. You know?
It's very temporary.
It's very temporary. Yeah.
And the come down sometimes is bigger when you get a win and you get all excited and you return back to the like, oh, that's right, this is how shit I felt and I feel shit about it.
Yeah, exactly.
How about you, Jamarz?
I've had a good year because last year I wanted to quit. I was over it. I was like, I'm done because I had a big 2018 but got fucked by a few things, shitty deals. I didn't sign anything, but like bad experiences in the industry, including established acts allegedly pinching my chorus. So shade, they're not listening. It's the whole, I said allegedly, so it should be all right. It's that whole blonde and white thing I told you about.
Yeah.
Those blonde and white, like Taylor Swift type artists can get away with a lot of shit. But I was last year wanted to give it up. And I just feel like I've been on a journey that's all made sense. So I finished uni at the start of this year, but last year started interning, got into music PR this year. Did a few agencies. So I really started to understand how to communicate the messages in my music, which has helped me morale, you know what I mean? Because I think looking back, I've always had the message, but didn't know how to like get it out there. So I feel good, but I always have ups and downs because I compare myself to others. I'm is jealous? Yeah, I am. I do get jealous, but yeah, because it's like, it's the whole like, this one ain't got a message, clout, immature, doing it because it's cool. Whereas for us, we met I think I was so young. Did we meet when I was like in high school? We've been doing this for motherfucking years, years and years
Yeah.
out of love and passion and like for
Yeah.
the right reasons, right? And then it's like the whole clout but it is what it is. It's like going back to like, do we really want that audience? Maybe not. But I've been okay. Like it's just ups and downs and trying to check myself when I compare myself to others and trying to tell myself, don't look at X, Y, and Z page. That's a good tip for artists. Like don't, if you know you're going to get upset, then don't even click on the page just to see. But I feel like I'm okay and I'm good and I'm happy I didn't quit because I really wanted to. And I'm even starting to get back into the saxophone now out of a place of passion. So I've kind of, this year, I've kind of gone off hip hop, not hip hop, it's more trap. So let's say trap because I had my big trap phase, got off that. Now I'm listening to Kamasi Washington. Then that's increasing my confidence, like for the solos, like when I'm soloing live. So it's getting there, but it's just a maturity. I'm also at peace. I think that's the biggest thing this year is finally at peace with the whole audience thing and realizing, hey, maybe this is like, I'm glad I didn't make it when I thought I would have, and that's not the right audience for me, and that wasn't the right path, the clout chasing path. So just coming to peace with, because you know, the career can go so many ways. So coming to peace with all the ways it could go. And I think at the end of the day, and I was talking to my trumpeter about this, I'd rather, especially, sorry, backtracking, especially after the corporate shit I did, would rather just be low key, but have but do music full time and not struggle. Though music's always going to be a struggle unless you got a dance monkey type thing, because everyone needs a piece. But I'd rather do it forever than work. That's my biggest thing. Not like work, but like corporate work. Because the T is I was got my first paid corporate job. They're not going to listen to this, and it wasn't music PR. It was dad kind of forced me to accept the job. And it was the worst 5 weeks of my life. Just this September, I had like 1 week where I was part-time, but it was like 3 days in a row, couldn't eat, had 1 meal a day, going to the toilet constantly. Someone said that's anxiety. Just like 1 meal, maybe 1 in 48 hours, and just ill because it was a toxic environment. 2 of them weren't a part. I kind of low-key thought they were losers. Well, like not my definition of loser is like just like they're like, so like the nose is like this, and but we're the same age, and you're trying to put on this corporate veil, you know, that like you know, they put on that mask, and I'm very vulnerable and honest, and I started getting cut down like the second I'm in there, just being honest, because that, like with the music, I'm very honest and just tell the truth, and they don't want you to do that. They want you to have this veil and be confident, and I'm like, fuck this shit, most toxic. So I left after 5 weeks, and I don't know. Sorry, that's a backtrack. So I've had my ups and
but
downs,
it's important to share that. Is that also like for people coming up is like balancing a music career and having a job, or finding an income, especially during this time of COVID when gigs aren't as prominent, to be able to create an income, and the stress that brings in your life, having a double life.
It's I don't
intense.
know. I'm glad I'm out. Like I just was like, what's the point? I looked at those two. Literally, they sat across from me. It was a team of 4, and I'm like, you're going so hard because this is your career. Fair enough. I mean, but for me, I've wanted this music since I was in like year 11, 12. I started making like valid music, and it's like, this is not for me. I'm out. Like, and also you're not approachable and you're toxic, and I've never been in a work environment like this before. So deuces. But then, but the whole thing is like so my dad, like his Sri Lankan background, and then having the conversation with him, like our first difficult conversation, but it wasn't difficult. Just telling him like I quit. It was a terrible work environment. And I'm going to go back to retail, and I'm going to do music. I told him like, I'll check back in with you in 6 months. Motherfucker, I ain't going back. But I also assured him like, the thing is, this is another thing, and it kind of does make sense. I can do my own PR. So I told dad it's fine. Like I'm still, the skills are there, and I'll have something to show. Worst case, I can say, hey, I secured X, Y, and Z opportunities for myself. So it's not like, this is now going back to the career thing, but I'm still using those skills. That was my kind of like good news to him. But now I probably got to check back in with him and be like, yes, I'm gonna continue to do
this. I'm curious, especially talking about the workspace and toxic people, and the whole premise of this conversation is using music as a vehicle to get a message out. Is a big message you've been repping lately and making really big change is Afro hair in schools, right? And I feel like the both of you have certain journeys around this. I'd love to hear what prompted that for you, Jamarz, and what's the latest on it? I saw like some politician getting involved and speaking about it in the whatever parliament, yeah, and like it's really being embraced and getting a lot of fucking signatures.
We also, basically, for those listening, I have a petition which is called, Stop Independent Schools Restricting Afro Textured Hair and Protective Styles. Basically, I've called out the independent schools because they're unregulated in how they kind of police or govern their uniform policies. So these conservative schools and spaces use that as a way to discriminate against Black students and like basically outlawing and banning any protective styles like braids, cornrows, even though it can comply within the school rules. And then in my experience, always being forced to shave the afro, it was never recommended that, I just trim it. It was like, shave it to a number 1 or 2, which is like this. So the Black Lives or BLM came about. Jess B in New Zealand shared, this is exactly how it happened, shared a post saying that her school or her former school pulled down all the BLM posters. Boom! In that exact second, that's where the whole thing came to my mind. I was like, because that is censoring. And then boom, me back to my school. I'm like, you fucking censored my identity by saying shave to a number 1 or 2. That's the thing I try to emphasize. People be like, yeah, they made you shave your hair. I'm like, to a number 1 or 2 to this. So it's like, it was never like a trim it. And so what came about was that. And then I saw Chrissy Zamora, she had the petition it was about TAFE, like for them to incorporate Afro textured hair in their, like in the syllabus, because it was never in the syllabus, and put 2 and 2 together. Because I also got approached by HuffPost to do a personal story, then saw Chrissy's petition, put 2 and 2 together. I was like, if I'm going to present a problem, like I can't just write a whole thing and be like, yeah, this happened, this problem, like I need a solution. The solution was the petition, and within that petition it was calling for a change to the anti-discrimination laws to protect students. But I want to go bigger than that and make it like a workplace thing, but it's step by step, because I can't confuse the messaging mainstream white Australia when this is the first time they're hearing about this issue, and they're kind of making sense about it. A lot of people think this is just about hair. No, like I said, this is about covert discrimination, how these systems are discriminating against Black students, forcing assimilation, erasing our identity, and just a general lack of understanding of our natural hair and our needs, and just trying to make us conform to Eurocentric beauty standards. And that's the first time I've ever got that out from my heart, because I always just skip over that bit, because for me and probably to all of us in that chat, we know that, but I forget not everyone knows that. So they think, they like roast me in the comments, mainstream Australia, like mushroom head and what do they call it? Race baiting and all this other stuff that conservative people use to kind of like not censor, but just to invalidate what I'm saying. Oh, I went off. Sorry, that's been inside me because I had the
let it off. I had the kettle boil.
I had so much confidence building up to this, because this is where I was thankful for Dad for pushing me throughout life, because I didn't want to finish school. I wanted to do hip hop back then and leave school, push me to finish school, push me to go to uni. And I obviously did a heap of essays over this period. He also pushed me to get the internship, which helped amplify that campaign. And I had tremendous confidence. I'm like, this is what it's built up to. And then had it even for probably like 5 or 4 months of that campaign. Then I had that big ABC, the drum piece, and it was not received well. That was the only time that it wasn't received well, and then it kind of brought me down a little bit. But I feel good that we just said that, because they need to know if they don't understand. Because in my head it makes sense, in both of your head it makes sense.
It makes so much sense to me, and of course it makes sense to us, because like we know what it's like to have to, like I used to straighten my hair, because that's just what you did. Like so many Egyptian women that I know straighten their hair, because the Arabic word is shanuna for this hair. It means like messy or unkempt, you know.
It's not.
And my mum calls me shanuna when still to this day when I have my hair like this, it's so internalized.
Ingrained.
It's so ingrained, but it makes sense to us. But it's so crazy to me that someone else, but it also makes sense that they can't see that you saying that I have to shave my head or I can't braid my hair, like that's fucking racism.
Yeah, it is. And it's so deeply ingrained in Oz. And I knew this, and I said this on accident. Like, I always knew this from the essays, and I said it in that interview. I didn't even realize what I said. I think I said I'm pushing for a more inclusive Australia. I didn't even fucking realize I said that. And still, all on Facebook, that ABC piece, all laugh reacts, and then 200 plus comments. I never read the comments because I couldn't. I was like, don't. But it's just, that was enough for me to see the 200 comments and more laugh reacts than heart reacts. And then obviously on Twitter, I was getting like even kind of not attacked isn't the word, antagonized by the media relations person at the Independent Schools Association. He was the one liking tweets saying, you know, this is race baiting. And then he was tweeting saying, it's my understanding this student was never suspended. I'm like, well, duh, motherfucker. That's why I'm fighting for this, because the school's like basically is bullied. Like, they bullied me into taking it out, because as a student, you know, you can't stick up to the school. You're going to get, if I said, no, I'm going to keep my hair, they would have said, get out, N-word, not the N-word, but they would have said, go to another school. And then we in regional Australia, there's no other independent school, or, you know what I mean? But I don't know. It's just, that I feel like that shows a lot on their character. And really said he didn't get suspended. I'm like, yeah, okay, well, I got detentions though, and you still pulled aside and said this was an extreme hairstyle, even though it complied with being above the collar and above the ears. Not if I got suspended or not. You know damn well if you don't comply to the uniform rules.
Yeah, it's because you complied. You allowed them to whitewash you, you know, and that was the thing. Is if you didn't, if you stood for it, that's when you would have got suspended, right?
And no, like, black student, their parents, none of them are going to stick up to the school, because this is what I've realized now with maturity. My parents are from villages, bro, that came to Australia to like for a better life. I'm starting to understand their perspective. I was born and raised in the regional Oz, so I feel like I'm Aussie, but I'm understanding their perspective. There's no way they're jeopardizing my education, especially when there's only one school in the town over like uniform hair, because for them also they want to, they're the ones that have originally been forced to conform, assimilate, so they want to conform. We shouldn't have to. And it's not their fault at all. Like, it's just, no one's taking on an independent school as well. That's like, we're like vulnerable communities. Like, a vulnerable community is not going to take on like that old money. Essentially, that it is what it is. It's the old money. This is like, it's not even to do with money, but essentially, you know what I mean? I was scholarship, FY, in case anyone's listening, because everyone fucking hates independent schools. I don't know why, but I was music scholarship. I'm gonna say it. And if you ever bring up this video, I'm gonna forget. I'm gonna act brand new and be like, no, I'm old money, like.
Big flex, yeah. No, that's great that you're doing that, you know, and it's like, you know, I'm sorry to hear that you got all these negative comments from the ABC platform. And it's wild, you know, like, I think this is the big thing, is these messages getting out because of, you know, people like myself. As a white person, I just don't know this experience, you know, like, I don't know that your hair is being monitored like that, you know, because it's not a conversation that's happening. And I'm from regional Australia as well, where, you know, there was like one person of color that wasn't, like, I had a lot of Indigenous people at my school, but not like no Afro textured hair people were at my school. So I just don't know these things. And it's still to this day, because I'm white, I don't experience racism, you know, and I don't, the covert racism, anything like that.
Yeah.
But it was wild. Like, the other day, I made a video, right? And it was like in a reel/TikTok form. And it's like me talking about finding my own heritage, my own ancestry. And it's like just a video of me sitting there. I'm playing, Alpha Mama just dropped a song recently called Go Back to Where You Came From. And I play the song, the hook, and it's like, I live on stolen land, Australia. And our colonized culture is to celebrate the time we colonized with a barbecue, to do burnouts and VL Commodores, to say words like can't, mate, blah, blah, blah. And just gave a few of like what white Aussie culture is, and said like, I feel disconnected. So I did a DNA test, and this is what I am. And this is some of the things I've been unpacking recently, right? And I did it on Tuesday night, and I have a TikTok. I had one follower, right? And just like learning TikTok. And I just uploaded it before I went to sleep, put it on there. I woke up to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments that are just full blown racism. Like like, if you don't like it, fuck off. If like, well, at least you're not trying to go into Aboriginal culture, because who would want that? Like
Gen Z,
full on racism, like saying like the biggest cop out in the world is always was, always will be, just fucking hundreds of I woke up in the morning, it was just like, from someone I had one follower on TikTok, and just like playing around trying to figure it out, to just somehow I just hit this racist demographic. Somehow I just
Gen Z.
Yeah,
like, statistically it would have been all Gen Z, because I'm not really even on the TikTok.
Do you think Gen Z though?
No, 100%. Because I saw some of and I saw the profile pictures. I'm like, and just the way they talk, it reminds me of the kids at my school. That's how deep it is, though, and because they've got that keyboard warriorness, essentially, like they go hard on the things, and that's, sorry to bring this back, that's to the other point I was saying, where it's like I feel like I'm at peace with not making an impact in that audience, but still being visible to slowly change and challenge. But I'm disgusted, but I'm disgusted that that's Gen Z, and I think that that's okay. Predominantly Gen Z. Yeah,
it was what was the word you used earlier, Nadine? A plethora. Yeah. Plethora of people. But yeah, definitely a lot of Gen Z people. And like, it was wild. Like, I went and looked at the pages. Like, I sat there and just looked at, who are these people? Why, like, how are they? And it was just like a lot of people in the army, or Navy, or whatever it is. Like, there was this massive American page, like over 1 million followers, called like, Kill the Lefties or something like that. And it was just like, I went on the page and I was like, oh my God, like, there's so much racist shit on here, and it's got hundreds of thousands of views and whatnot. It was like, I never ever want to encourage racism whatsoever, but it was actually like a gift for me in a way, to be like, it was like, because it was an eye opener, because I just never had seen it to that extent. I've seen a racist comment here and there, but to see it in the hundreds, to be like, this is really fucking real. And it just like allowed me to be a better ally, because of, you know, that I can actually understand the experience, you know, like I wasn't personally like, you know, it's nothing to do with the color of my skin, you know, but so it wasn't like I was affected by racism in the manner of like, poor me, but it was more like, whoa, like I am disheartened that this is a real thing in the world.
But this is the problem with social media, is that, you know, we all think that our fucking like 0.0001% of the world that we see on our newsfeed is the real world. And it's like, sorry guys, it's not the real world.
It's not that. Yeah, it's not that. Yeah, we live in bubbles, you know, and then eventually sometimes the bubble gets popped and you just see what's on the outside, and it's ugly, man. It's ugly. And
if you keep using TikTok, it will like gradually filter the racism out, you know, and you'll just end up with people who agree with you, like
algorithm based to help us. I'm just looking at the time. I know you have a meeting at 11 o'clock, Jamarz. So I want to slowly wrap up here. And what I would like to just know for you to, both of you, to put out into the world, into anyone listening here, is what are you working on right now? And what is the message that is most important to you to get across at this current moment?
Nardean can go first.
So kind of ironically, to say at the end of this whole thing is like, I'm actually not really focusing on stuff with a message at the moment. I'm writing a lot of like, cause like, yeah, definitely at the start, a lot of my music was like, you know, heal the world, make it a better place. But now I'm like more, I'm a sad girl who doesn't know how to be in a relationship, which is healing me. You know, I've been like getting my own shit out, and it's healing me. And I'm sure that a lot of people will resonate with it, and hopefully it will help. But that's what I'm working on right now. It's like the kind of like sexy, toxic energy that we all seem to love, you know?
Cool. Sexy, toxic coming soon.
Yeah.
I've just also like, the one thing I learned this year is using my voice. So I'm going to continue to do that because I used to do it like in between the sets, in between the music in a live set. But just realizing, holy moly, what you can do just by voicing the change you can create. That's my biggest takeaway from this year. And what I'm working on, or what I think I will continue to do, is just representing Black and brown folk in a different way visually in schools. I think, like in the music videos, I've had like a lot of just
Your latest music video got a few nominations, by the way. Congrats.
Thank you.
Yes.
We had no idea about this film festival, but it's been really cool, and it's nice also to be appreciated by that audience when you also literally have a story and a message in a music video. It's really nice for like that audience of like industry, that side of the industry, to be like giving the nods. But I feel like I'll continue to just represent people in a different way in my music videos, Afro braids, in these conservative spaces, because that's the one thing I also realized is like I've never really seen like Black preppy students. Like I can't even think that it's definitely there in films, but even in nothing jumps to mind when I think of that. So that's one thing that I just want to we'll do in the music videos, just because you never know who sees it. And I've had former students say like, just even you wearing your hair makes me appreciate my natural hair more, which I didn't know. Like for me, it's just like I don't know. I think the hairstyle chose itself. I'll just continue doing what I'm doing. And also everything I do, like being a Black person in Australia, I'm going to dovetail it with that like queer narrative as well. Because then I've got to battle with, my own community. Like, in Kenya, it's still illegal to be gay, punishable by imprisonment. Hate crimes, ostracism is also what you're subject to. So that's I don't know if it's formula, but that's my way forward, is like always going to dovetail it with that. And just me, not going to worry, we're not going to worry about what other people think. And just try not to get boxed in. Amen. But also try not to get boxed in, because I didn't realize that didn't jump. You know what I mean? Like I said, I was just being proud. Never jumped to my head that you can get boxed in. So I guess I got to keep an eye out for that. Thanks, industry people. But it's just stupid. That shouldn't even be like a thing. But it is what it is. I'm happy.
Something you said within there was just how just wearing your hair out has just inspired people, like you've made a statement by just being you, and I remember when Remy first grew his afro out, and I was like, whoa, like this feels like a statement, like just I was inspired, and I'm a white boy with no hair, like
love that.
I messaged him. I was like, dude, like, I don't know if this is intentional, but this is like epic, like I'm inspired as a white boy. So like, thank you for just being you, and it was just like that new degree of just seeing someone really be themselves is just so inspiring. So I love that, it's like for you to say, I'm going to continue to do this with my music videos and involve Black and brown people and continue to have the queer narrative and Nardean, like we're talking about pushing out a message, but to be you right now isn't to push a certain message. It's to actually heal these wounds of yourself by expressing yourself in where you're currently at. So I think that's an important thing. You don't have to be a politician, rapper, you don't have to be whatever to really push a message. It's like the message is to heal myself right now. Awesome. Thank you both so much. Anyone that's listening, in the bio, in a little description section, I'll have all the links to both Nardean and Jamarz, and our mystery person never rocked up, so you will just never know.
So mysterious. That's extremely mysterious.
Such a mystique. Maybe I'll just do that every episode. Someone's about to rock up and actually there's no one.
We should do this again, us three, dream team.
Well,
that was so great.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much.
She followed him and soon found herself falling a very deep hole into a strange place called Curious.
Conversation.
Curious.
Conversation.
Nowadays, there are still girls and boys whose curiosity leads them to strange places.
What a curious call. I can't tell where this is going.